That worked. I don't understand this at all. Okay, then. Let's see here. I don't understand why this is not working the way it's supposed to. It never seems to want to work for me. But whatever. We shall see. All right, so I got to get in there somehow. Crap. Well, this is supposed to be my 5th anniversary stream. I'm going to log on my computer real quick and tell everybody this is the new one. Because, yes, I don't understand the way this frickin' thing works. It's infuriating. Whoops. No, I did not want to open GarageBand. YouTube is like infuriating. Like it doesn't want to work half the time. Last time I did a live stream, it did the exact same thing. It did not want to let me do what I needed to do. Share link. Copy. Hang on a second. Paste. Go. Okay. I don't understand. It doesn't seem to want to work for me at all. But anyway, 5th anniversary stream. Yes. Let's wait for a few more people to show up. I see I got one. YouTube can eat a bag of dicks. It is really, really infuriating how it wanted me to, like, I did it before on my laptop. It worked perfectly fine before. Last time I tried to do it was the live stream pickups video, and it did not want to let me use my microphone, so I had to switch over to the laptop, and it worked okay with the laptop, but it would not let me log on to that specific stream that I had already set up. I had to start a whole new one. It confused everybody, and it basically did the exact same thing this time again. Although I had downloaded Chrome onto my Mac, and everything seemed to be working okay when I set it up, but when I went to actually stream, it just did not want to connect. I didn't understand why. And it wanted me to download some program for $10 or something like that to get it to run. I was like, no, I'm not paying any money. This should be free. So I had to log on here to the, let's see here. There we go. Hey, yeah. Gratuitous crotch shot. Yes, sir. Oh, man. Yeah, this has just been a real hassle. I don't understand the way YouTube works sometimes. It's just pissing me off. What's up, Burf? What's going on, dude? Okay, so 5th anniversary stream. Started this channel back in 2014. Today, January 20th, 2014. Basically to catalog my recollecting my collection that I had to sell off. I had started selling off my games, I want to say a little bit before I had lost my job in 2011. I was trying to buy the Mac that my employer at the time, who will remain nameless, they bought me a really powerful Mac and 2 monitors and a really expensive DV camera to make training videos. And my deal that I had with them was, I'll make these training videos for you. I get to keep the equipment for myself, for my own projects. They decided to renege that deal, took them away from me. I had to beg them for about 6 months. Finally, I got a new boss who was really understanding and really nice. Talked them into giving me the program, and the computer and the camera back. But I had started selling some of my more expensive games in order to buy the computer and the camera back, but then ended up getting it back anyway. Didn't need to do it anymore. But then I lost that job like 6 months later.
and I ended up having to sell the entire collection just to make ends meet while I was looking for a new job. I was unemployed for about 4 months. So I got back into collecting, I want to say, at the very beginning of 2014. No, it was probably October or November of 2013. And I started making the videos January 20th of 2014 to catalog the stuff I was getting to regain the collection that I had to sell off. And it's come a long way since then. How's it going, Krillin? What's going on, dude? What's up, Emily? What's going on? So we got Charlie from Epic Die Studio, Boston Burf. I know that Game Beaters and Radical Reggie were here, but I guess because of the stalling and everything that was going wrong, kind of turned them off on the stream and everything. But it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It was a video diary at first, and if you watch the first video I ever did, you could tell I was not comfortable in front of the camera because I'm a filmmaker, I'm a director and a writer. I'm usually behind the camera. Being in front of the camera is not my thing. And usually if I was doing it in front of the camera thing was just for like a throwaway line or something and something I was working on. A person didn't show up on set. I took their place real quick. So you can see I was really uncomfortable. I was nervous. I mumbled a lot. And plus it was the first time I'd ever used iMovie I never used the webcam in my Mac before. And it was tied directly into iMovie that was built into the Mac. Never used it before. It really screws up your audio. I just basically took all the footage I recorded, threw it into Final Cut Pro, exported it, and threw it out there, not really watching it and not knowing that the audio was completely out of sync from what I was saying. Hungry Gorilla, what's up? Thank you for showing up, Game Grinder. Yes, anniversary time. Yay! Yeah, so from that point on, I really started to pay attention to what was going on every time I would edit something. Started noticing how either the train that is behind me was covering up my audio or me sort of tripping over my own words, which I do a lot. Ended up changing the way I would edit my videos. So now when you see the way my videos are kind of chopped up, it's because I either tripped over my words. There's a police station not too far from here. There's cops running all over the place. There's a train going by. Or I just completely brain farted and I forgot what the hell I was going to say and lost my train of thought. So, yeah. Thank you, Emily. Thank you. So, it's come a long way. Started talking about movies, I think, within the past year, which is my other big passion. Yeah, I've made a lot of friends on YouTube over the past 5 years. It's really, really cool. What's up, Church? Like Church, I made friends with Church and Jason from Corpse Flood Gaming and Boston Burf and Nintendo, Musty Hobbit from Second Breakfast, the Cartridge Club crew, Game Beaters, everybody that I watch streaming and everything. I've made lots and lots of friends, which is not something that I expected to happen. I figured people would be like, his videos suck, don't watch them. And I just hit 1,400 subscribers today, which is kind of funny to me. The anniversary day, I hit 1,400 exactly, which is pretty cool. Yes, Nintendo needs to start making videos again. I keep on talking to him about it, but actually he's organizing a Southern Oregon Retro Gamers Convention out by him, which is pretty awesome. Kind of makes me want to go out there and check out the first con when they do get around to it. That's kind of a trip, though. So, yeah, 1,400 subs, yeah. Only took 5 years. That's the other thing that I'm trying to remedy with the channel is inconsistency. I've never really had a set release schedule. So I remember when I first started taking it seriously, I was going to do a video every other Sunday. And like I was talking about in the live pickup video that I did last month, whenever I would do a pickup video, it would burn me out because those videos are so like edit intensive. And like seriously, the video I film, when I film a pickup video, it is usually like 3 hours long and I have to whittle it down to 20. It is so time consuming and tiring, and it burns me out on doing videos. And like usually I'll do a pickup video and I won't do another video for a month because that's how burnt out I got on just making that one video. So that's why I'm going to do these live pickup videos from now on, just to get it out of the way. Don't have to worry about editing.
and I can make the real videos I want to make. Like the next video I'm going to release, the full video, is going to be, wanted to talk about this, I looked it up. I totally forgotten that on my Facebook page I had started a poll where I asked, I was going to make a new Diamonds in the Rough video, and I asked which console everyone would rather me make a video for. It was either the Genesis or the NES, and I had totally forgotten that I did that back in October, I think. So I went and checked it today, and Genesis won out by a very large margin, which surprised the hell out of me. I thought everyone would be like NES, but Genesis won. So yeah, more gray hairs, man. It's happening. The old age is catching up. It's kind of funny. When I started the new job I had, when I actually started YouTube, my beard was completely black. And over the course of 5 years, you can watch it just slowly starting to turn gray. YouTube is stressful. How's everybody doing in the chat today? Great to see Reggie and everybody else. So yeah, the next major video I'm going to do, the next full-length video, is going to be Diamonds in the Rough for the Sega Genesis, and then probably one for the NES. I started capturing footage for those today. I'm going to have another Top 3 Tuesday video out on Tuesday. I'm going to film that tonight after this live stream is over. And I'm not going to ruin what the surprise is about what the topic's going to be. But, yeah, if anyone wants to ask any questions or anything, just throw it my way. I'm welcome to answer anything you want to know. How about I talk about a couple of the games I've beaten so far this year? So, let's see here. First game I beat this year was the game that I picked as my top game of 2018. That was the God of War. I started playing this in December with the hopes that since I was going to be on this 2-week-long vacation from work, I'd be able to just play through it, plow through it, beat it. What's up, Game Beaters? What's up, DB? It didn't happen because this game ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. And it surprised the hell out of me how long it ended up being. Finally beat it about 2 weekends ago. And the game does not end when you beat it. It keeps on going. You unlock 2 new realms that you can explore. Look for more collectibles and things to get you more trophies. You unlock... I basically went to... I can't remember the name of the realm, but it's the one that looks like what everybody assumes hell looks like, where it's just flames and brimstone and all that kind of stuff. I unlocked that realm, went in there, defeated the Valkyrie at the top of the mountain with all the challenges, beat all the challenges, got up to the Valkyrie, and man, that thing took me 30 damn tries to beat. God damn. It was frustrating as hell, but I knew the patterns. It's just I would always screw something up and I would get my ass whipped because that thing hits hard. So I'm going to try to do the first platinum I've ever done in my life, and I'm going to try it with God of War. I got to go back and beat all the other Valkyries. There's still some more of Odin's ravens that I need to find. I still need to level up the blades. I still need to level them up the final level to level 5. I'm trying to think what other ones I know I need to do. Shit. There's at least, I want to say 7 or 8 trophies I need to uncover to get the platinum. So I'm going to try over the next week and a half, 2 weeks maybe, try to platinum the hell out of this game. It'll be the first game I ever do that for. So we shall see. When you say that you're a filmmaker, what do you mean more specifically? Do you work on Hollywood films, local television, independent film? Where can we watch what you make? Well, no, I am an independent filmmaker. Micro budget. I do my own projects. I've been making films ever since I was in junior high, and Charlie from Epic Die Studio can attest to that because he's in most of them. I've always been obsessed with movies ever since I was a little kid, obsessed with video games and movies. And I kept on saying, when we get a video camera, me and my brother, we're going to start making all these movies. And then one Christmas, I think it was in 7th or 8th grade, my parents bought my brother and I for Christmas a PXL 2000, which was a Fisher-Price camera that ran on high bias audio tapes. It recorded footage on audio tapes. Can you believe that? It was black and white, kind of pixelated. You usually had the sound of the motor for the camera running in the background, but Charlie and I and my brother and a whole bunch of friends, we made all these movies. Like usually it was a fan film based on some movie that we really liked. Yeah, PXL 2000 for the win. Woo! Graham Hunt, Pornhub. Yes! I do all the pawns. Tiger Shot. I need your eBay superpowers to make Tyson's Punch-Out CIB. I got one from a trade. Anyway, yeah, we made all these videos or these movies. They're maybe like 20 minutes long. One of my teachers in high school, my science teacher and my biology teacher, he loved watching them, even though he was like really religious, and we cursed a lot in these videos. He like was always encouraging, always wanted me to keep on going. And my plan was, once I graduated high school, I was going to go to Columbia College in Chicago, which is like a film school. But my grades weren't great. My grades were fine. My grades was like B average, but it wasn't good enough, especially for my father. So I was going to attend a year of community college, get some courses out of the way there, and then transfer over. But anxiety problems kind of took over when I was in college, and I hated it. I absolutely hated college, and I just never finished it. I just dropped out after that first year, and I never went back to community college or to Columbia. So like when we graduated high school, while I was in college that first year, Charlie, myself, my brother, and his friend Logan made a Shadowrun fan film with a VHS camcorder that my dad had gotten as a gift. Full length. It's like 90 some minutes long. It is awful. It's the worst freaking thing you're ever going to see. But we did a feature length movie. It will never see the light of day. Charlie can attest to that. But my brother kind of stole my thunder and decided that he was interested in film also. And then he ended up going to Columbia College, getting a degree in film, and actually works in Hollywood right now. He's not directing or anything. He basically is either an assistant director, which means he like runs. He's like an actor wrangler on someone else's set. He worked on, what was it, Cabin Fever, Zero, a couple of other horror movies, and he edits a lot now. He's edited a lot of films in California. But I didn't stop me from making movies. I've always done. The biggest thing I did was in 2002. I got caught up in the hype. Everyone was making Star Wars fan films, so I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. We're going to make a Star Wars fan film. So I asked Charlie to be in it. We got a couple of other, like, it wasn't, I was trying to get actors at first, but I kind of had the idea to make one movie, and then it turned into 3. Everyone had to do a trilogy. And no one would want to commit to 3 movies, especially when I couldn't give them a timetable as to when we were going to make them. So put myself into a lot of debt. Got a camera from some guy in the city named Curtis, who just randomly I was on a Star Wars, I was at the Force.net's, their fan film board, and I said, yeah, I kind of need to get a camera somehow to film. And this guy named Curtis that lives in Chicago was like, you can have mine if you want it, just use it, just bring it back. And we used it. I had my mother make costumes, since she's all into crafting and stuff. She made all the costumes. I bought lightsaber hilts, got people to do the special effects. And we made a Star Wars fan film, and it was a lot of fun. I'm not proud of it because it was the first thing I ever did, and I didn't know how to direct actors, and acting isn't too great. It's not their fault. They're not actors, and I wasn't really trained in how to talk to actors and get them to do what they need to do. So it kind of shows that it was like our first movie, our first big movie, and it didn't stop me. We made a sequel, and we made a second one, and we started to film the third one. We couldn't finish it because the lead actress in the movie had thrown her back out, and we couldn't do the final lightsaber fight. So that kind of put the kibosh on that. But did a bunch of film racing. There's like these film races that happen all over the country. You get like 24 hours. You pay like $50 or $60. You get a topic. Everybody that's participating gets a topic. You have 24 hours to make a video about that topic, and usually has to feature a specific item that they throw at you also. And I did 2 of those. I did one that was 24 hours and one that was 96. Didn't win either of those. The videos are on my YouTube channel here. If you go way back beyond the old-ass retro gamer stuff, you'll see them. I did a music video for a friend, which is probably the best thing I've done so far. It's called Freddie Einsford Hills for my friend Noy. I did end up going to college. Well, I didn't go to college. I went to I took a class in directing at what's it called? The Chicago Filmmakers Institute in Chicago, and really learned how to talk to actors. Met some actors because we had to have auditions in the classroom for our final project. Met a bunch of actors that way. Still talk to them a lot. Ended up making Winter in Construction, which is a comedy improv web series.
It's not on this channel. You actually look up my old channel. It's Plu Cool Films, PLUSKEWL Films. There was a whole season's worth of episodes of that. Some are funny, some are not. Usually the ones I wrote are the ones that are not funny. Yeah, music videos are great, DB. The one that I did, it was the only one I've ever done, and it's the one thing I did that I'm the most proud of, because you could tell I was really trying with that one. I was trying to make it work, and everyone that was involved with it really liked it also. They were really impressed, and usually when I show people what I do, that's the first thing I show them. And once the web series ended, I really didn't get back into. I haven't done anything, but the other reason I started the channel was, yes, to document the games I was getting to regain my collection. I was also doing it to keep the cobwebs off, because if I wasn't doing any film projects, I still wanted to be able to have my editing skills in case something did come along. I wanted to be able to use the program so efficiently, like Final Cut Pro. I wanted to be able to use it so efficiently that it wouldn't cause any problems. So that's one of the other reasons I started it, just so I'd be constantly using it, so that if I had a film project, I could just bang it out editing-wise. And it's worked so far. So yeah, if anyone wants to see any of the projects, a lot of them are on this channel. Go beyond the old-ass retro gamer stuff. You'll see them. You'll see my class project there. It's called Spartan. Or go to just look up Winter and Construction Season 1, and it'll pop up on YouTube. So, any other questions? I'm such a leading man. Yeah, Charlie was my leading man for almost everything back then. Yeah, Mom did our costumes. My mother did all the costumes. She flipped the hell out because when we couldn't finish the third movie, she was like, "Well, what about all that work I put in all these costumes?" I'm like, what do you want me to do? She threw her back out at work. It's like, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, it's not like this is a real Hollywood production. It's not like I have millions of dollars at my disposal. It's not like I can just go out and get a stunt double to do it for her. It was, no. I fired up for Xbox One X. Yes, I picked up an Xbox One X Black Friday, and I've actually been buying more Xbox One games recently. What's up, Cabot? What's going on, man? Chinese food. Can I help you? And then, yeah, that was kind of funny. And then now, because we can't finish them, I'm still planning on putting the third movie together. The footage that I have of the third movie filmed, I'm planning on putting it together just so I can show everybody that worked on it. This is what it would have been like, even though I can't really complete it because there's no ending. But yeah, there's that. So, but they're fun. Those were fun to make. Everybody put in a lot of time for those fan films. The fight choreography. Oh my God. The amount of hours people put in for the fight choreography. There's a fight in the third film that involves 8 people. I want to say we went crazy for the third movie. Yeah, there's I want to say 7 Jedi versus 1 Sith. And it was insane. It was crazy to coordinate and to choreograph it and to actually film it in a forest preserve. It was crazy. Fat Jedi for life? Yep. What does Chicago think? Chicago-style pizza is pizza? Why does Chicago think Chicago-style pizza is pizza? I'm actually not a fan of the stuffed crust stuff that everyone seems to think is like Chicago pizza. Chicago pizza to me is pan pizza. There's a place out here. Any of you guys like Church or Jason or whoever comes out here, I will take you to Pequod's. Pequod's is pan pizza, and they call it the caramelized crust because they put cheese all the way to the edge. And it kind of burns around the edge, and it gets real crispy and crunchy and kind of salty, and it's awesome. Every single person I got the hiccups for some reason. Every single person I take to Pequod's, that's the only pizza place they want to go to when they come out to this. Wow. Hiccups are in the live stream. That's awesome. It's the only pizza place anyone ever wants to go when they come out to visit me now. Yeah, but I can't stand Giordano's and Lou Malnati's and that stuffed crust. I'm lactose intolerant, and man, you want to see some fireworks? Woo! Give me that, and then wait an hour and a half. You're going to see some shit. Boo! Heyo! Anyway. Let's see. If I could direct any video game to movie, what would it be? I was actually talking about this on the Game Tenants podcast that Church does. This
past December, I've had a Mirror's Edge movie planned out in my head from beginning to end since the first game came out. So that's like almost 10 years now, I want to say. Music choices, every single thing planned out. I know exactly how I want to do it, how I want to shoot it, and everything. It's just, I don't work in Hollywood. I can't get it made. I got no money. So that's it. What's up, Linda? What's going on? Good to see you. Fat Jetter for life. When do we expose Dan B as the Honky Tonk Man's NES face double? That's awesome. Oh, Cabot. What was I talking about? Shit. Lou Malnati's for life. Yeah, I can't stand Lou Malnati's, dude. It's just gobs of cheese, and cheese clogs me up. Like, I actually feel like I can't breathe after I eat that much cheese. It could also be that I'm fat. So anyway, back to the games I've beaten this year so far. So I beat God of War. That was the first one. And then I started playing this yesterday, and I beat it in 2 sittings. I basically took a break for dinner, went back into it, and beat it. It's Moss on the PSVR. It's a puzzle platformer in VR where you are basically a guy reading a book, kind of like the Neverending Story. And there's this little mouse character named, what was it? Quill. And you control Quill, but you are like God looking down upon her as she is like running through these environments, as you make her run through these environments and solve these puzzles and everything and do a little bit of light fighting. Super adorable. Quill is so freaking adorable. The sounds she makes. Just one point where you get an achievement, you get a trophy if you high five her, because there's this like orb that you can control to manipulate the environment sometimes, and she'll stop and look at you and put her hand out like this. And I was like, is she trying to high five me? So I reached out with my controller and I touched her hand, and you hear, it was amazing. Did you notice much sign language usage in Moss? They're trying to advertising this thing. I didn't really notice, but I mean, she does do a lot of little hand movementy things towards you, which is kind of cool. There's one trophy that you can unlock if you scare her from behind. So I guess if she's off to the side and you come up behind her and whack her with your little orb thing, you get a trophy for that. So I might just go back in and do that again. I want to play through it again because I know there were a lot of things that I missed. But it is really short. It's about a 4-hour-long game. It didn't need to be that long, which I'm kind of glad that it wasn't. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, I had a blast playing it. I was surprised it ended so fast. That last boss battle that you have with that big fiery snake dragon-y thing, that was a lot of fun. I really liked it. And it said that this was the end of book 2 or book 1 when you beat it. So I'm assuming a book 2 is coming out at some point. Cannot wait. It is adorable. Want to play part 2 so bad. Maybe it's going to be DLC. I don't know. I've seen Moss before. I believe Riggs was playing it on stream. It is super fun, Cabot. If you have a PSVR, that is a must own. Like, it's really cheap now, and which is good because for a game that only takes you about 4 hours to beat, that seems to be right. If you pay like $20 for it, that'd be pretty good. But it's so much fun. Really cool puzzles and stuff like that, environmental style puzzles, and I liked it. I was enjoying the hell out of it. And I was kind of sad when it ended. Did you notice much sign language use? Oh, I did that one. Which actor do you think would be the best to star in the biopic of your life? That's dumb. No one want to make a video about my life. It'd be me sitting on the couch all day long, eating tortilla chips, watching Netflix. That's it. You know how many times I've watched Star Trek Deep Space Nine from beginning to end? About 6 times. That'd be the biopic of my life. Like, wow, Odo's gonna get some from Kira tonight. There you go. Jack Black. Yeah, that's Brian Posehn. Come on, Odo, get in there. Get in there. You're gonna get it. Gonna get it. There you go. That's the opening scene. Anyway, you're like, yeah, Cisco's a badass. He don't give no fucks. Anyway. And then the other one that I beat this morning, started it after I beat Moss last night at around 1 in the morning. And I played it until, I played it for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, went to bed, woke up this morning, and I finished it. And I was surprised how short it was. And that's Until Dawn Rush of Blood. This is a launch game for the PSVR. It's It's like a side story to Until Dawn, which is actually a really cool horror game. This is an on-rail shooter where you're basically in a car on you're on a roller coaster car. You're in a roller coaster car, and as you're going through all these environments, there's things to shoot at. It's a rail shooter, and you have the move controllers, one in each hand, so you're dual wielding, and it's really, really short. And I know a lot of people love this one. I was kind of underwhelmed because it was so short. When it ended, I was like, "That's it? Really?" I played through like 6 really short levels, and that's it. The only thing is I can up the difficulty a little bit. I was like, okay, I guess that's all there is. Yeah, there's a couple of jump scares that really got me. The last boss is pretty cool. The whole devil in hell thing with that big monstery 25-story tall goop monster. But I was kind of disappointed. Doesn't really have a story. They try to throw story elements in there, like you let these 2 girls die or something like that, and they like haunt you as you're playing the game. It's just, it's all right. So I wasn't too keen on that. I'm not sad that I played it. I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It is entertaining. It is fun. It's just I was expecting more because of the way Until Dawn was so cool and choose your own adventure, and this is just like really, really simple and kind of underwhelming. Why is Rygar the best game on the NES? Man, Rygar, goddamn. That was one of the first games I ever got for the NES back in the day. And my brother and I could not beat it to save our lives. We could not figure out where we needed to go once you go to that overworld stuff. Not overworld, but the top-down parts. And it was just, that game's really tough. But back in the day, I really kind of sucked at video games. I was really bad at them. I don't know why. But I could beat Bucky O'Hare. Couldn't beat Rygar, but I could beat Bucky O'Hare. Don't know why. Don't understand it. This is the what ifs. Until Dawn is awesome. Yeah, I love Until Dawn. The real Until Dawn, not that one. Which video game character would you be best cast as? Me? Probably Laura's overweight sidekick in the new Tomb Raider movie or Tomb Raider games. What's his name? Isaiah or something? Jonah. Jonah. No, I don't collect the classic mini consoles. I have no need to, since I own pretty much all the games that are on them to begin with. And the PlayStation 1 looked like shit. Only game on there on the PlayStation that I don't own is Persona, but I have it for the PSP. Didn't need it. Was it the PSP? Yes, the PSP. I have it for the PSP. And Intelligent Cube. And I'm not going to buy it just so I can play Intelligent Cube. Nah, I got more games in my own personal collection than are available on that thing, so I didn't see the point. Jonah the Whale. Yep, that's me. No one moves the blob. Anyway. Whew. So those are the games I've beat so far. I started playing a couple of more games today. I started playing this one by Limited Run that just showed up about a week ago called To the Top. It's like a platformer that has to do with you jumping around on buildings and stuff like that. It's like it wishes that it was a VR version of Mirror's Edge. And I played it for about 20 minutes and I turned it off. It's just not fun. I do not like the mechanics of it. So that one I probably will not beat. And then what was the other one that I started playing today? Oh, I started playing The American Dream on the VR today. John Riggs was talking this one up a lot. And it's basically you doing everyday tasks like cleaning your room, saying hi to the neighbors. Everything you do involves guns. I thought it sounded fun. Really not liking it because the controls are terrible. I played it for, I want to say, about 45 minutes today after I beat Until Dawn, and I was not impressed. There's a mode in it that basically is the most annoying thing that I've ever seen in a video game, and that is I went into the options, and there's this option that just says America. And I'm like, oh, is it asking me if I'm American? Is it asking me if I'm playing this in North America? I'm like, I don't know what that is because there's no descriptions for everything. This does not come with an instruction book. So I didn't know what it was. So I clicked on it. And basically what it does is everything is an American flag. Everything is patterned in an American flag everywhere you go. And whenever somebody speaks to you, all they say is America, 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 America. And there's subtitles as to what they're saying. And it is so goddamn annoying. I couldn't, it was like, and the move controllers that you have to use in order to be shooting things with your guns don't have the option button on it. So I couldn't go into the options and change it. And I couldn't do it on the standard controller because that does not work with that game. So I was basically stuck with it until I turned the game off. So it really, really annoyed. I'm I mean, everyone was talking up how funny and great this was, and I was like, this is kind of garbage. The controls are terrible. Although the funniest thing, like I had to play catch with my son, and you basically have to shoot the balls out of the sky, and you cannot aim because the aiming is so imprecise, and it's terrible. I'm not liking this one so far. So I probably will not beat that one either. My favorite Game Gear game is, let me see, probably Vampire. What was that one called? Master of Darkness. Vampire Master of Darkness for the Game Gear. The Castlevania ripoff. I think it was called Master of Darkness, and it was available for the Master System overseas. We never got it over here, but they gave us a Game Gear port, and it is probably my favorite Game Gear game. That's what I play the most. Really like it. I talked about it in my horror. I did a top, no, it wasn't a top 3 Tuesday. I did a video like 2 years ago on Halloween, and it was like my favorite horror games, and that was number 1. Good Game Gear choice. Yes. DB, man, watching you play that Mega Man game was frustrating as hell on the game when you're playing it on the Game Gear the other day. Oh man, that was making me stressed out just because it was like, where do I go after this? Like when you were doing those swinging platforms, and I was like, I can't even watch this anymore. That's why I left the stream. I was like, I can't even watch this anymore. This is stressing me out. Master of Darkness got a GG. Yeah, it is so much fun, dude. It's kind of pricey now. I was lucky I got it when I did, because it looked like the price jumped up because like Radical Reggie got interested in it. And then once he talked about it on his channel, it kind of shot up in price a little bit. So I was kind of lucky that I bought it when I did. I think I had to buy it in pieces too. I think I bought the cartridge in a box separately. I think I did. That's probably why it was so cheap. But yeah, I want to say a close second for Game Gear games is probably Axe Battler. Axe Battler or Psychic World. Those are 2 really fun Game Gear games. The one that I liked the most when I was a kid, because when I graduated from high school, all the money that I got from this party that I had, my graduation party, I bought my first car with it, and then everything that was left over, I bought a Game Gear and some games with it. And I bought the original Streets of Rage for the Game Gear. And I remember liking it when I was a kid, when I first got it, but play it now, and it's like unplayable almost. It is so bad. Oh, Master of Darkness is so good, though. If you haven't played it, emulate it, do whatever you got to do to play it. It is a Castlevania clone, but it is a very, very fun Castlevania clone. I highly recommend that one. I'm looking at my Game Gear collection right now. It's like my door to my computer room is open, and my Game Gear games are right outside the door, so I can see exactly what they are right here from where I'm sitting, which is cool. I'm glad you asked that question. Is there a game you would like to see a sequel for that doesn't have one in production, as far as I know? Yeah, I would like another ActRaiser game. That's a given. I love me some ActRaiser. Everybody knows that. It's my favorite game of all time. Square Enix sent out a questionnaire, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago, asking like gamers, which properties that we own do you think we need to bring back from the dead? And every question that they asked in that area of that questionnaire, I put ActRaiser. We need to have an ActRaiser 3 or a reboot ActRaiser on modern day consoles. If it was like a God of War style game, that would be fantastic. I would love it. Zelda Gold carts, Killer Instinct Black carts, and Maximum Carnage Red carts. I have the Maximum Carnage Red cart. The Zelda Gold cart, I have the 2 gold ones for the NES, but my Ocarina of Time is the gray one, I do believe. I don't have Killer Instinct. Oh, no, I have Killer Instinct for the Super Nintendo. That one's the black one, obviously. I don't think there was a gray version of that. But I do have Maximum Carnage for the Super Nintendo, and that is the red one. I did have it for the Genesis also, but I traded it and then got the Super Nintendo version because I liked that one better. I still want the Mega Man Legend 3. Yeah, I just finally got Mega Man Legends 1. It took forever for me to do it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I found it at a local store at about half price, what everyone on eBay is charging for it, which I got lucky as hell. Finding Part 2 or The Adventures of Trombone for that price is gonna no, that's probably not gonna happen. Anthony Smith, welcome to the chat. Hi Chris, what do you think of the new Mortal Kombat? I am so freaking stoked for Mortal Kombat 11. You guys have no idea. No idea. You can't really see it from where you're sitting. I'll try to adjust this. But you see that Mortal Kombat 2 banner? That's the Mortal Kombat 2 banner I got from the video store I worked at in like 94, 95. I kept it. I still have a Maximum Carnage one also. I am the biggest Mortal Kombat fan in the world. Charlie can attest to that. When I was going to college, I would ditch all the time just to go to this one arcade that had Mortal Kombat 2, and I would play that all night instead of going to my, what was it, my literature class? No, my history class. But yes, I am so down for Mortal Kombat 11. The fatalities look really cool. That Baraka one where he rips your face off, that looks so rad. I love that Ronda Rousey's playing Sonya, because if they rebooted the Mortal Kombat movies like they're talking about doing, I would totally want her to play Sonya. I think she's a better actress than Gina Carano by a long shot, because she actually has charisma. Yeah, I cannot wait for it. I usually, like when it came to Injustice 2, I waited for that complete edition to come out because I didn't want to have to buy the game twice like I did with Mortal Kombat X. You know, I had to wait for that XL version. I don't care. I'm buying Mortal Kombat 11 on day one. I don't give a shit. I'm doing it. I love Ronda Rousey. I think she's hot. I think she's fun to watch. Every movie that she's been in that I've seen, I think she's fun to watch. I don't watch the fighting itself. I don't watch like her UFC stuff, so I don't really care. I just, in the movies, I like her. I think she'd make a great Sonya, live action Sonya. Let's see. I like the first MK movie. The first movie, Charlie can probably attest to this also. I saw the first movie in the theater, I want to say 8 times. Yeah, 8 times. I absolutely love the first movie. I still love it. It's one of my favorite, like, guilty pleasure movies of all time. I've seen it so many times. I could probably quote it to you left and right. I love the music that they chose for it. If you watch my first fan film, I don't know if it's on YouTube. I don't have it on my YouTube channel, but the first Star Wars fan film that I did, it's on theforce.net. If you want, look up Star Wars Pathways, and it'll be on theforce.net. It feels like Mortal Kombat because I basically used the same kind of Mortal Kombat, the same kind of music that they use in Mortal Kombat for the fan film. I love it. The second one, on the other hand, took me seeing it twice in the theater to realize how much I hated it. I watched it the first time and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. It was different. It was kind of stupid. Whatever. It's not like the first one was like this smart made movie. And then I saw it the second time. I was like, yeah, that was crap. And I own a copy of it on Blu-ray only because when I bought Mortal Kombat 9, I bought Amazon had like a deal where it was like you buy a Mortal Kombat 9, you get the first and second Mortal Kombat movies on Blu-ray in like a bundle, and it was like an extra $10. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that because I wanted the first one. Yeah, I hate Annihilation. It is one of the worst things I've ever seen. It is so dumb. It is so dumb. They ruined everything that they set up in the first movie. Everything that I thought they set up well in the first movie, they ruined it in the second. So much so that me being the filmmaker guy that I am, I was like, I can fix that. I'm going to write a sequel to that. I'm going to write a Mortal Kombat 3 script, and I did. And while all the characters that I wrote in it are bipolar as all hell, I recently, I want to say within the last 2 years, I went back and started rewriting it again just for fun. And I think I set up some really cool fights and some really cool scenarios with the characters and made them do certain different things that I think people that are fans of the games would appreciate. Brought in certain characters that people might like. It'll never get made into a movie. I have no delusions, but it was fun. If anyone wants to read it, let me know. And I still have to finish the new rewrite, but anyway. I remember playing the online version, playing other plays before networking. Yeah, I remember they had Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 at this arcade in a mall near us that was online that you could play people with. That was pretty cool. Whatever, Reggie, I don't give a shit. You ever feel uncomfortable shopping at GameStop? No. The one by my work a little bit because there's this girl that works there that just creeps on you the entire time you're there. From the moment I walk in, she's like automatically behind you. Like, can I help you with anything? You looking for anything specific? You want to reserve anything? And I'll be like, no, I'm just browsing. And she'll be like, okay. And I'll think she walked away, but she's actually kind of following me through the store, looking at what I'm looking at. Because I remember when I first got the PSVR, I went to that GameStop after work one day, and I was looking at games, and she like kept on pulling the VR games off the shelves and throwing in my face, saying, you need this one, you need this one, you need this one. She was the one who talked me into buying Eve, what was it, Eve Valkyrie? And it kind of didn't work. I guess I had the settings off or something like that, and I was actually ready to go to back to the GameStop and bitch her out. But apparently I had a setting off or something like that, and it didn't seem to work in VR, but I'm going to go back and try it again. Yeah, the first Mortal Kombat movie is awesome. The second one is doo-doo. That reptile fight, yes, Charlie brought it up. Okay, so when the first Mortal Kombat movie came out, I got to see a midnight show the night before it opened, at a really big theater that was they used to be by us in this mall called Woodfield. It was me, my brother, and two of his friends, I want to say. And I had previously, Charlie was there when I did this. We went to a Star Trek convention, and there was a guy selling screenplays. And he had like a first draft of the Mortal Kombat screenplay. And me being the Mortal Kombat fan, I still have it. Maybe being the Mortal Kombat fan I am, I bought it. And I read it in the car on the way back from the convention. And I was like, wow, if this is the way the movie's going to be made, it's going to be pretty fun. And there was a reptile fight in it, but it was really stupid. It was like they're in the living forest, and Reptile, which was basically just a little reptile, just like he was in the movie, like jumps out, and Liu Kang grabs it, and he throws it into the mouth of one of the trees, and the tree snaps shut and bites like his arms off. Like the only thing that was sticking out was his hands, and it bites, and his like hands rip off and hit the ground. And I'm like, that's it? That's all you're going to do? I'm like, all right. And there were things that were in that script that were in the movie. A couple of the fights, like the Liu Kang and the Liu Kang and Kitana fight on the beach was in there. The Sub-Zero Liu Kang one was in there. The one with Johnny Cage and Scorpion was completely different. It was basically just in the forest, and that was it. It never went to hell. I know that was a reshoot. But when the reptile fight started, I lost my shit. I actually stood up in the theater and went, yeah! And I started like a screaming riot because it took me by complete surprise. And I was so excited to be there and see this, this game that I love up on the big screen. It was so cool. And I started like a screaming riot. Everyone in the theater started screaming, yeah! It was crazy. I never forget that one line for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Raiden, will you help us? He goes, I will pray for you. No, the best line in Mortal Kombat Annihilation is when, at the beginning, when Shao Kahn has like his generals standing up on that wall, and then Sindel comes walking up, and Kitana looks at her and goes, Mother, how can you be alive? And Sindel just points at Kitana and goes, too bad you will die. I was like, somebody wrote that? That's a line that somebody actually thought was going to make it into a movie, and it did. Whoever made this movie should lose their job permanently, and that guy's still making movies. That guy that directed Mortal Kombat Annihilation directed the first Annabelle movie. I didn't go see it because of that fact alone. Super Mario and Street Fighter movies make the first Mortal Kombat look a lot better in contrast. I'm sure they helped, but I can't stand the Mario Brothers movie or the Street Fighter movie. I think Mortal Kombat movie was the first one that the first video game movie at that point that actually felt like the game it's based on, which is probably why I liked it as much as I did, because I was like, this is instantly recognizable as Mortal Kombat. Even if you're not like from a gamer's point of view, I was like, this is exactly what I wanted a Mortal Kombat game to look like. Yeah, it wasn't as gory as I had hoped, but the games were aimed towards kids, like teenagers. Of course, they're going to make it PG-13. They made it about as gory as they possibly could. Nowadays, if they reboot it, it's definitely going to be an R-rated movie. What's up, back in the day gamer? Hey, hey! Has anyone made a reply video to your movies that deserve a better video game? Yeah. Fwank! Yeah, guys, it's Fwank. Yeah, that Frank video game, DB, that was so funny. I laughed the whole time. You have no idea. Tell Fwank he's a goddamn genius. He's changed the game forever. Oh, man. That line was horrible, wasn't it? Too bad you will die. And the whole thing with Raiden and Shao Kahn being brothers was dumb. Oh, my God. And, like, Raiden, like, giving up his immortality and then turning into, like, a fucking douchebag from Boys Town. It was so bad. I was like the first time I saw the movie in the theater, I was like so excited because I'm like, yes, it's another Mortal Kombat movie. And I'm like, just in complete disbelief. I'm like, this is what we got. Okay. All right. I guess like, all right. At least the music's cool. And then I went and saw it a second time with Charlie and his, at the time, I don't think they were married yet, but girlfriend at the time, went and saw it. And on the way out, I remember us making fun of it. And I was like, yeah, I think that movie's kind of dead to me. I have a response for it in the works, so don't finish this LJN collab with Captain Azure, bro. Flip. I can't wait to see it, Tony. That's going to be awesome. I'm so happy that people are actually doing response videos to these Top 3 Tuesday videos. I mean, the whole idea behind the Top 3 Tuesday videos is to get like people in the community involved together. That's why I do it. Best movie based on a game? Clue. Clue is amazing. I love Clue. Flames on the sides of my face. It's like, Well, I had to stop her screaming. I love Clue. Mortal Kombat is still probably my favorite video game movie of all time. I know everyone is going to give me shit for it. I don't love all of them, but I love some of the Resident Evil movies. The final chapter is probably the most disappointing one of them all, because I was like, that's how you're going to go out? Oh, okay. I think I like the fourth one the most. The Afterlife. That was probably my favorite one. It's the dumbest one of them all, but it's just entertaining as all hell, at least to me. Flank hype, yeah, Frank is the best. Jack had some bad lines too. Yeah, every line that came out of Jax's mouth in the second movie was so bad. Yeah, now what? Like, really? Like, in the 90s, I don't understand why whenever there was like an African-American character in a movie, he automatically had to talk like he was like from the hood. And like, if you watch the games, even like the cartoon, I think, or whatever, Jax never was like Mr. Ghetto-tastic. And in the movie, it was like, every time he spoke, it was like some cliched, like I'm from Detroit line. It was just stupid. I could not stand Jax in that movie because Jax is one of the characters I really liked in the arcade game of Mortal Kombat 2, and seeing him portrayed like that in the movie was like really disappointing because like he was in the first movie for about a minute, and that guy played Jax like I wanted because he was intelligent and he was smart and he was down to business, and that was exactly what I wanted Jax to be like. And then they turned him into Mr. Punny. I got something stupid to say every time something happens. I couldn't stand Jax in that movie. Could have been also because the actor that they hired was pretty terrible. I like the first Resident Evil movie a lot. I saw that one in theater, I want to say like 3 times. That one influenced my style. The first Resident Evil movie influenced my filmmaking style a lot. I don't like the second one at all. I just do not like it. I hated what they did to the Nemesis. The third one is good. I like the third one. The fourth one is probably my favorite because it's just fun, especially when you're watching it in 3D. Like I said in that 3D Blu-ray video, the fourth one is just so much fun, especially when you're watching it in 3D. The fifth one's pretty cool, and then the sixth one is just like, what the hell? I remember sitting in the theater watching the sixth one, just going like, this is the big epic finale? This is dumb. Ugh, couldn't stand it. I think every man likes the gratuitous nudity in the Resident Evil movies. For some reason, I think it's funny that Mila Jovovich's husband is the guy who's directed 4 of the 6, and he instructed her to be naked for a lot of those. So I think that's kind of funny that he's like, check out what I'm fucking. Thanks, Wellington. 5th year, yeah. It doesn't feel like it's been 5 years. It honestly does not. I know you love the Dead Space Downfall. I like it too. I actually have that on Blu-ray. They never released the second one on Blu-ray from what I can tell. At least I can't find it anywhere. But I need to check that out. The worst part was the arms were removable. Yeah, the whole thing with him, like, that was the other thing that got me about, like, the first movie, it had a message where it was like, you guys need to become a family in order to beat the whole situation you're in, Liu Kang needed to find his confidence and all that. And it wasn't like beating you over the head with it. In Annihilation, the whole movie, they're like, oh, Jax, you have a real self-confidence problem when he gets the arms put on. Oh, Jax, you really need to come out and find your confidence. It's like they beat you over the head with it, and it drove me crazy. And then finally he's like, oh, look, there's this giant minotaur that will stomp me to death. It will stomp anybody to death. I don't need these arms. I'm a man. Bam. It's just, no, I hate it. I hate it. Hate it. About that first Final Fantasy meet. I like The Spirits Within. I like it a lot. I know a lot of people don't. It did kind of fall in with that sci-fi theme that they were going with, like with Final Fantasy 7 and 8. And I like that kind of thing. I wish they did like a traditional Final Fantasy movie where it was like, fantasy. But what they did, I thought was fantastic. It looked beautiful. I think it's fantastic. I watch it every year. Every single year I watch Spirits Within. I love the music by Elliot Goldenthal. I just think it's a fantastic little movie. It's one of my favorites. When it comes to Final Fantasy VII, was it Advent Children? That one I could not get into because it's just so inside. It's like it's all. If you do not remember every single little detail from Final Fantasy VII, you are completely lost. And guess what? I did not remember every single detail from Final Fantasy VII. I was completely lost. Chris, I love Dead Space 3. How'd you feel about that game?
I beat the first two. I don't think I ever finished the third one. I got to that point where, what was it? You're going into orbit of that planet, and there's like asteroids coming at you, and I couldn't get through it. And I just walked away from it. And it's not that I didn't like it. I mean, I liked it. It's just it frustrated me to the point where I just never went back and played it again. But I enjoyed what I played of it so far. But I still need to see that second Deadfall movie. Alone in the Dark was a bad movie based on the game. Yeah, any movie made by Uwe Boll is a horrible movie. You have no idea how excited I was for that House of the Dead movie that guy made. And then I went and saw it opening night. I had a choice. I could go see Kill Bill Volume 1, or I can go and see House of the Dead. I chose House of the Dead. I made the wrong choice. Yeah, I went to see House of the Dead, and I was one of maybe 3 people in that theater. And the whole time I was like slack-jawed. I was just watching it like, okay, this will probably get better at something. No, it's not getting better. No, I hated it. And then I was an idiot and watched the second one that they released straight to video. Yeah. But I went and saw every single Uwe Boll movie that ever got released in theaters, hoping that there would be a good one. I saw Blood Rain. I saw Alone in the Dark. The only thing I like about Alone in the Dark is that scene where Christian Slater and Tara Reid are like in his apartment, and like those soldiers crash in through the windows, and it was really stylish the way it was done. And I love the song that they picked over it by Nemec. And that was the only part of that movie I liked. The rest of it was garbage. Blood Rain was shit. I saw In the Name of the King, the Dungeon Siege movie. Saw that with a big group of friends. And you know what? Seeing it in the theater, when there weren't a whole lot of people in there with us, we saw it opening night. There wasn't a whole lot of people in the theater. We basically were Mystery Science Theater 3000ing it as we were watching it, which is pretty awesome. My friend Elizabeth, every time Ray Liotta would show up, she'd go, crazy eyes. It was so great. And then like when Jason Statham learns that Burt Reynolds is his dad, who's the king, learns that that's his dad, and he just kind of like stands there looking at him when he dies. And I was like, the transporter don't cry. You know, it was it was more entertaining us ripping on it than watching that movie. And that movie is almost 3 hours long. What the hell? Ugh. You made Rampage, and that was actually, I never saw Rampage all the way through. I know he's made like 3 of those. I never saw it all the way through. I remember it was on Netflix at one point, and I started watching, and I fell asleep. Not that I hated it. It was just I was late at night. I never finished it. I still need to. Plus, I didn't like that the movie had like 3 colors. Which movie was that? Yeah, it doesn't hold a candle to Dead Space 1 or 2. What I played, I like. It was the weakest one I played so far. Yeah, I couldn't get into that Final Fantasy VII movie. I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. Like I said, it was so inside. I just could not. I was like, my brain melting out my ears. Yeah, I saw Double Dragon opening night in the theater with a couple of friends, and we laughed at it the whole time. Yeah, that was terrible. That was god awful. Yeah, the game that they made for the Neo Geo was better than the movie. Alone in the Dark was bad. Yeah, we should play together. I have not had to buy any of the characters from Killer Instinct because I bought I don't know what it was called, the Complete Edition or something like that. It has like everything in it, the Battletoad, the guy from Gears of War, and all that. I love that game. Charlie actually came to my place and played it, watched me play, and then he played it a little bit too. It's a fantastic game. When it comes to games like that where I know there's going to be a lot of DLC, I usually just wait until like the complete version comes out, which is what I'm doing with the new Spider-Man. Didn't like that the movie only had like 3 colors. Yes. U-Ball made Rampage. Yes. Old Dirty Gamer. What's up, dude? Old Dirty Gamer. Chris Pico reviews bad movie episodes. I have a blog for that. If you want to see my movie reviews, I have a blog called Geektastic Film Reviews. What is it? Geektasticfilmreviews.blogspot.com. Last movie I reviewed there was the Halloween the new Halloween movie that came out in October. That, and I think Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom I also reviewed. Yeah, I never saw any of the sequels. I never finished the first one, like I said, when it comes to that Rampage stuff. I love Spirits Within. I think that's like a diamond in the rough video game movie. That's the one that a lot of people give crap because
It doesn't take anything from the Final Fantasy games, but it does have the themes of the Final Fantasy games. It's got the whole Gaia thing. There's someone in there named Sid. It feels like it could have been like Final Fantasy Gaiden type of thing. I really enjoy it. You have no idea the amount of people I had to explain the ending to when it first came out. I'm like, all you had to do is listen to what they were saying, and you can figure out exactly what's going on. Alyssa Milano as Marion, yeah. Mortal Kombat is supposed to get a reboot. I love Surf Ninjas. I have the Surf Ninjas game for the Game Gear. God, that movie's it's craptastically amazing. It's so bad, but it's good. Liam Neeson as Kano. Not Liam Neeson. Leslie Nielsen as Kano. Yeah, Mortal Kombat is supposed to get a reboot movie. I remember James Wan, the guy that directed Aquaman and the Saw movie, the first Saw movie, is supposed to be in control of the property now. I don't think he's going to direct it. I think he's just developing it. But I would actually love to see a Mortal Kombat 3, like the way they're making these sequels to movies that have come out like 20 years ago, like with Tron and Mary Poppins and all that kind of stuff. I would love to just see like a sequel that takes place in real time after the second movie and catch up with the characters, what they're doing now. But that's probably not going to happen because Robin Shou looks like he's 100 years old now. And they were going to make a Mortal Kombat 3, I think, in 2004, and then the sets got destroyed when Katrina hit. Whenever Katrina happened, that was when they were working on it, and all the sets got destroyed, and they just said, screw it, we're not going to do it. Alyssa Milano as Marion was probably the best thing in that movie. Yeah. And Double Dragon. Alyssa Milano in anything. Yeah. Chris Pika reviews Yentl. No. Father, can you hear me? No. Oh, Dirty Gamer, yeah. Reading the reviews is totally different than watching you review them. Yeah, I'm very serious in my reviews. And you can tell when I'm angry at a movie when I review on the blog. You can, like when I was watching the Halloween review that I did, I was angry. The special effects on a Bobo, everything in that movie was bad. Even like the shadow effect thing when Kugo, Shoko, Dudo, Brobo, I don't remember his name, when he would like turn into like little shadow man. Everything about that was bad. 5 seconds of House of Dead review or gold. House of the Dead, that was so bad. The only thing I liked about that movie were those spinning shots when the ravers were like shooting the guns and the camera was spinning around them. And I saw how they did that. Instead of lining a bunch of cameras up to do like a bullet time effect like they did with the Matrix, they basically had the actors stand on a platform and they had a camera attached to like a dolly arm that was motorized, so it spun around them really, really fast. And the thing was, if they moved like 2 or 3 inches left or right or leaned forward, that camera would smack him going like 60 miles an hour. That movie is so dumb. It's so bad. Those YouTube Mortal Kombat vignettes are awesome. Yeah, the Mortal Kombat Legacy. I actually have both seasons of that on Blu-ray. Those were cool, especially the first season. The first season I really liked. It was kind of disjointed though. I mean, like the Cyrex and Sector one just kind of came out of nowhere. It had like nothing to do with anything. It was just like, hey guys, we got a budget left over. Let's do a whole bunch of CGI characters. Wink. But what they did with Liu Kang in the second season was really interesting. They made him kind of an asshole. Kind of is the bad guy, which is kind of neat. I liked it a lot. How about a Mortal Kombat movie with the guy that made Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle? I would love to have Stephen Chow be in a Mortal Kombat movie. But the thing is, he's like in his 50s now too. So I seriously doubt that'll happen. They'll find all new people. Trust me, they will. Don't be surprised if Iko Uwais, the guy from the Raid movies, gets cast in there as Liu Kang. I would love to see him play Liu Kang. That guy is so awesome when it comes to like the martial arts stuff. He is so good. If you've never seen the Raid Redemption or the Raid 2, get on that. Those movies are awesome. How about let's see, Legacy, right? Yeah. Any new collab videos coming up? There's a movies that would make great video games part 4 coming out. The moment, what was it? When I was right in the middle of putting the third one together, DB, I asked you, and I started working on part 4. I started asking everybody. Hungry Garaya is in it. Game Beaters are in it. T-Belly is going to be in it. Megadan. Who else? Oh, Do You Nerd? They're in it. So I got another 10 people lined up. Let me see. I actually got the list right here. The Game Beaters, T-Belly, Nefarious West. Or Nefarious West. West? No. Nefarious West. Do You Nerd? Linda, a.k.a. the Gamer Girl, who's in here right now. Megadan 29, Max Impact 24, The Ice Pirate, The Foster's Game Reviews, and Hungry Goraya. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, the raid. Once the stream ends, go to Netflix, search for the raid, and watch it. Your brain will melt. It is amazing. And it has a great soundtrack. I think one of the guys from Linkin Park did the music. It is awesome. I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. Cyrex is cool. I'm not a big fan of Mortal Kombat 3. I didn't like the way they did the run thing, but usually I was either playing as Cyrax or as Cabal when I was playing Mortal Kombat 3. Yeah, they just kind of were replacements for the ninjas because I don't understand. They took Scorpion out of it for some reason, which was stupid. It was a bad idea. They mixed him back in for Ultimate, which was good. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, those arcade one-ups that everyone was complaining about over the holiday season and all that, you see the new group of them, and one of them is Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on one unit. That is going to be mine. I don't care how cheap it is. I need a arcade cabinet for Mortal Kombat. I need it. It has to happen. It's going to happen. It will be in my apartment. You will see it. I'll do a video on it. Something. Which games would make a better TV series than a movie? Killer Instinct. I wrote a Killer Instinct movie script also. Back in 97, 98, and 99, I was working as I was working in the billing department of a limousine place out here. And I would work the second shift. And when I would finish my work, I would have all this extra free time. And I would usually sit there and I would have a bunch of legal pads. I would just write out movie scripts. And I wrote an entire Killer Instinct movie script out on legal pad. I eventually transcribed it over to the computer, and it's not good, but I think it feels like Killer Instinct, but it's not going to get made. Mortal Kombat Complete Edition on 360. Yeah, I loved Mortal Kombat 9. That was so much fun. Castlevania. Sweet. Castlevania has an anime on Netflix. Yep. Castlevania on Netflix is absolutely fantastic. I watched the first episode. I think it was when I was going to bed one night. So I was like laying in bed watching it. And for some reason, it must have been because I was tired. It made no sense to me. And I didn't go back and watch it. I was just like, that's kind of dumb. So when the second season was coming out, I was like, I should probably go back and rewatch that first episode. And I watched the first episode completely aware now. I was awake. And I was like, wow, they actually developed Dracula. What? The whole first episode is setting up Dracula. This is amazing. I love the way they're doing this. And the whole first season, the whole first 4 episodes is basically just the setup to the real action. And it was just it was putting all the little chess pieces in place wherever they needed to be in order to go and kick some ass, which is fantastic. I loved it. And the second season I thought was even better, where all the shit happened. It's all Castlevania 3 awesomeness, and with a little bit of Symphony of the Night mixed in. Woo! Epic Die Studio. So well done. Yeah, haven't watched all of it, but it's good voice cast. Yeah, I love the people they cast are all perfect for it. There's this one little dialogue exchange. It's really stupid and really immature, but I laughed so hard, and I was like, I love this show after that happened. So it's when Alucard and Trevor and Sypha are all like in this like broken down building. It's in the beginning of the second season. They're like in this like building that's like they're like resting or something like that. And Sypha's like, I'm gonna go out and do something. And Trevor's like, I'll go with you. And Trevor and Alucard look at each other, and Trevor says, eat shit and die. And right after that, like immediately after he says that, Alucard goes, fuck you. And it cracked me up because I was like, wow, like, okay, that's the angle they're using for this. They're just going crass. I was like, I like this. This is fun. It cracked me up to no end. Halo can make a good show. Halo would have made a great movie. Got turned into District 9. If you ever watch District 9, look at all the weapons in that movie. They are all the Halo weapons repainted. Yeah, Neil Blomkamp was hired to make a Halo movie. Universal pulled out because they realized how much it was going to cost, and they didn't think that a video game-based movie should cost $300 million. So they backed out. So all the pre-production that Neil Blomkamp had done for the Halo movie, he ended up moving it over to District 9. So if you look at like some of the vehicles in District 9 and the weapons, they're all repainted. Like there's one vehicle that looks just like a Warthog. It's all repainted Halo weapons, basically, which is pretty cool. I would have loved to have seen a live-action Halo movie. I read part of a script that they had written, and I guess at the very end, or at some point in the movie, Master Chief was going to crash on the Halo, on the ring, and his helmet was going to come off in the crash, and you were going to kind of see what he looks like without the helmet on from the back. You're never going to see his front. You're going to see the back of his head, and it was kind of like the way Darth Vader, the back of his head looked in Empire Strikes Back when you see he's got his helmet off, which is kind of cool. Mortal Kombat Mythology, Sub-Zero, best Mortal Kombat game. No, but it's not nearly as bad as Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Special Forces is probably the worst Mortal Kombat game ever made. Sub-Zero is not great, but I enjoy it, even though the controls are kind of wonky. But I like it basically for the story because it expanded the Mortal Kombat universe. And huge Mortal Kombat fan. I eat that shit up. So I was willing to suffer through the gameplay in order to get the story stuff out of, and which I liked. It was cool to see Richard DeVizio, who plays Kano, playing Quan Chi. That was pretty cool. And I'm going to meet them all. All the Mortal Kombat cast from the original first 2 games. They're going to be at C2E2 in Chicago over the summer. I think it's in May. They're all going to be there. And I've already met Daniel Pesina. You guys know that story, although he did redeem himself at Midwest Gaming Classic last year. I've met Philip Ahn, who played Shang Tsung in Part 2. And I met John Parrish, who plays Jax. The girl who played Sonya's going to... Excuse me, the girl who played Sonya's going to be there. The girl who played Melina and Kitana will be there. Daniel Pesina's brother, Carlos Pesina, who played Raiden, he's going to be there. Richard DeVizio will be there. Ho-Sung Pak, I think, might show up. I think he's the only one that's up in the air. But I'm so going because I need to get that Mortal Kombat 2 box of mine signed completely in that poster as well. Because Mortal Kombat horror. Yeah, the Castlevania is really done well. Hey, thanks, Eugene. How's it going, Eugene? How's it going? DB, go wash your mouth out with soap right now. Damn it. Yeah, thank you, Eugene. I really appreciate it. Would you paint yourself yellow to portray a live-action Pac-Man? No, because no one needs to see this with no shirt on. I never want to see Master Chief's face. I'm playing Halo 3 as well. Yeah, they kind of tease you with it at the end of Halo 4, which I thought was great. Yeah, but I think they knew when they were writing the script for the Halo movie that if they did, it would just ruin Halo forever. And they didn't go through with it. They kind of just show you, like I said, the back of his head. And you're supposed to see that it's like... they say the way that it was described in the script, if I remember correctly, was like it was as smooth as like a baby skin. Like it looked like it was like an undeveloped fetus almost. It was weird the way they described it. I love Pac-Man Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah, I remember watching the Pac-Land cartoon. I have Pac-Land for the TurboGrafx 16. That's kind of modeled after the cartoon, or is the cartoon modeled after that? I don't remember. And Q*bert. Q*bert in Pixels was the most adorable thing ever. Pissing Pixels. Hey, Harry Pack, yeah. So, I've got not much going on. Had a pretty chill weekend, except for the parenting bits. Yeah, it always kind of makes me laugh when I'm watching your streams. You're like, yeah, I got to go take care of the kid now. But that's what happens, man. So, yeah, Captain Algebra had his second kid Friday night. He had the wife had some sort of an emergency with the baby. She was pregnant, and they had to have a C-section. So I was chatting with him because his stream was like delayed for a while. I kept on asking if he was okay on the stream, and then I ended up texting him, and he was like, "Yeah, we're at the hospital right now. My wife's getting a C-section." I'm like, oh shit! I'll tell everyone that the stream's canceled. But yeah, congrats on the new baby. As long as the baby and your wife are okay, I'm super thrilled. I mean, screw the stream, screw it. Yeah, it looks like the baby is doing well, which is great. Steve Downs, yep. So what games am I going to be playing once I well, actually, since I'm not going to be finishing American Dream or To the Top, the ones I want to finish, well, I'm going to keep playing God of War a little bit until I can possibly platinum it. I don't know. But the next one I want to play is Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. Andy Serkis's company, Ninja Theory, did this one. I know it's I guess, sort of like playing what was it called? Enslaved, which was another Ninja Theory game. But this one deals with mental issues, story-wise. So yeah, it's about a Viking girl, Celtic warrior, getting visions, but is she schizophrenic or not? I guess is the big thing behind it. So can't wait to try this one out. It looks fantastic. Everyone was bragging about it the year that it came out. I need to play that next. Probably also going to play Detroit Become Human, play through it maybe twice because all the different endings you can get. Can't wait to try this one out. Game Odyssey was talking about this. She did a video about the games that she beat in 2018, and she was like, "It's a great game, but some of the story elements are mishandled completely." Really looking forward to seeing the way that story develops. I definitely got to finish playing Call of Cthulhu. Started streaming it. Realized it was not a game to play on stream at all. It's so slow. I liked it. Not a game people want to watch you play. So I need to finish that one up, and I definitely need to finish up Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I stopped playing this. I was maybe halfway through the game, stopped playing in order to play God of War. Because I was like, I need to bang that one out. I just need to do it. So I need to go back, or I need to finish. This is probably the next thing I'm going to go do once I platinum God of War. I'm going to go and finish this one up, then go to the rest of these. Definitely got to play Fist of the North Star, Lost Paradise, the open world Fist of the North Star game. What the hell? Did not see this coming. Need to play it immediately. And I was playing this a couple of months ago, and I need to go through it just so I can say that I beat it, and that's Double Dragon 4, the one that was released by Limited Run. Everyone gives this game shit. It feels like a Double Dragon game from the 80s. Why is everyone complaining? I don't get it. It's like, because it's not some revamped Double Dragon something, it actually feels like the 80s game. Everyone hates it. I don't give a crap. Yeah, I saw that you beat Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I saw that you just beat it post about it. Yeah, I need to go back and finally beat it. Like I said, I'm about halfway through. I think the last time I played it, I hit 48% or something like that, I want to say. So, yeah. But I definitely want to play Double Dragon 4 all the way through. Gang beatdowns on Bimmy. Oh, Bimmy. Oh, dude, Eugene, my backlog is thousands of games deep. Keep buying all these games. If you ever see the pictures that I post on my YouTube page or my Facebook page, and all that about all the games I buy every week, yeah, I have so much of a backlog. It's like when I retire, I will be set for life with games that I need to play and beat. That's how much. Yeah, it's sad. Oh man, my fave character of all time. I don't know. Favorite character? Probably Samus. I mean, I say ActRaiser for everything, but I mean, you don't really know anything about that character that you play as, just that he's a god and he's been away and he's come back and he's like, oh man, Tanzer wrecked shit. Samus is the one that I give a crap about. But when each game, it's like, oh look, I get a little bit more of Samus' story. So yeah, probably Samus is my favorite video game character. I have a little Samus shrine in the other room. I said that to my wife about retirement, and she said there will probably be new games then we'll be buying. Everything will be digital then, and I will not be buying those at all because I do not like digital. I like my games physical. So that will give me the opportunity I need to play through all of this, like 3,000 games backlog that I have. I catalog everything in my collection on rfgeneration.com. And before I did the stream, I was going through the pictures of the games that I bought over the past month and inputting them into the program to catalog them. And it tells you your total. My last total was like 3,400 some games. I was very ashamed, but at the same time, like, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I have way too many games to talk about beating. Oh, shit. Luckily, there's a bunch that I beat back in the day when they were first coming out, and I don't really have to go back and beat them again. But there are certain ones like ActRaiser and all that I do like to go back and beat periodically because they are so much fun. The real nostalgic ones for me, like ActRaiser and oh, geez, what else? ActRaiser, Contra 3, Super Castlevania 4. Yeah, Super Metroid. Which game character do you think deserve a better game? Definitely the lead character from ActRaiser 2. I think he's supposed to be the same character from the first game, but for some reason he can fly now. He deserved a better sequel. That character deserved a way better sequel than ActRaiser 2, because ActRaiser 2 is garbage. It is hard to control. It is not fun. It is really hard, really frustrating. Ugh. Can't stand it. As much as I love the first ActRaiser, I hate ActRaiser 2 equally as much. So here's a question. Which video games do you think deserves a movie of its own? I might do this as like a collaboration topic at some point. Charlie actually, I think, was the one who suggested it. There are certain games that I have in my collection that I think deserved a movie at some point that never got one, or it was in the making and they canceled it because everyone gets cold feet when it comes to video game movies. Explain that Assassin's Creed movie to me then. Christ, I was so looking forward to that Legend of Zelda Netflix show. You have no idea. God of War, yes. God of War definitely deserves a movie. Who would they cast? You know, honestly, if it was 10 years ago, the guy that they cast as the voice of Kratos in the new game, was it Christopher Judge, who was on Stargate SG-1? He would have made a great Kratos. But I've seen what he looks like now, and he has not aged particularly well. 10 years ago, like maybe 2004-ish, I think he could have played a great Kratos. Nowadays, it'll probably just be The Rock. Adventure Island. Oh, God, that would have to be an animated movie. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Rocky Style. Oh, my God, they could totally do it. They could totally do a Mike Tyson's Punch-Out movie and have it be just like Rocky. Like, have it be like Creed. That'd be funny. Oh, God. Medieval. That'd be cool. As like an animated, CGI animated movie. Something by like Pixar or Blue Sky or something. Yeah. Has it been mentioned in your series? Is there a Ninja Gaiden movie? No, I don't think there has been in it. No, there has not. I was thinking, for some reason, like Ninja Scroll popped into my head. I'm like, no, that's not it. Metal Gear could work, but man, that would be one convoluted little movie. Man, that storyline from those Metal Gear games, it like, if you do not memorize every little detail of those games, you're going to be lost in the next game. If Vin Diesel wasn't so old, he could pull it off. Yeah, he could. I mean, he still technically could. I mean, if he's playing like the older Kratos like he is in the new God of War game, yeah, that would be okay. He's got the voice for it, obviously. He can do the stunts and stuff. But you know what? The Rock does everything nowadays, so I'm assuming they would just cast The Rock. There's an animated Ninja Gaiden series. I did not know that. Metal Gear Solid games are basically playable movies. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are basically movies. Katamari Damacy. Yeah, an animated Katamari Damacy movie with that theme song would be amazing. I'd be totally down. I honestly would love to see a Persona movie. I think that would be awesome. It's goofy and silly. It would probably have to be an anime, but I could totally see a Persona movie made at some point. I would love to see a Metroid movie. They're talking about John Woo making a Metroid movie like 10 years ago or something like that. And I was really excited about it. And then like John Woo kind of lost, like for some reason now I find John Woo movies like almost unwatchable. So nowadays I'm like, God, I can't imagine what that would have ended up being like. But yeah, I still want to see like a Metroid movie, a Zelda movie. An animated Mario movie would be good, but I think they are making another Mario movie, aren't they? Something like that. Oh yeah, Sonic. I'm going to reserve judgment on that Sonic the Hedgehog movie that's coming out until I see a trailer. Just seeing these posters and all that, you know, I think they kept his face hidden for a reason. They probably haven't finished the details on it yet. So I'm going to wait until I see a full-blown trailer for it before I pass judgment. The posters aren't really giving me any confidence, but like I said, I want to see a trailer first. Galaga. Mario was missing. Yes. I wonder if that Asteroids movie is still happening. Oh, God. I want to see a Yar's Revenge movie. Oh, man. Let me see. What else is there? A Panzer Dragoon Saga movie would be pretty cool because the Panzer Dragoon game, the story in that got me, I got hooked. And I was like, when I was playing that and I beat it, was 98-ish, I want to say. And that story had me so hooked, I was like calling into work all the time so I could keep playing it. Panzer Dragoon Saga would be fantastic. I've always kind of wanted to see a Contra movie. There was a song that I heard maybe like 10 years ago, and it just, for some reason, the song reminded me of Contra. And like instantly when I was listening to the song, it was like giving me like flashes of like what a Contra movie would look like. It'll never happen because that game has like no story. It's just like, oh, there's aliens invading. Send in Rambo and, Dutch from Predator to go and kill them. Luigi's Mansion could make for a good animated kids movie, the way they're doing like Pokemon, or is it Pikachu, Detective Pikachu? There's an anime Persona series? I had no idea. Ugh. I'm so out of touch with anime nowadays. It is like, I haven't watched an anime, a full anime, since I want to say Attack on Titan first showed up on Netflix. And before that, it was probably 10 years. So I am so out of touch with anime to the point where I just don't care anymore. I don't go out of my way to watch anime, anything, except maybe the classics that I have like on Blu-ray or whatever. Yeah, if Contra was made in 1990, it would have been great. But nowadays it's like, no. Bayonetta movie, yeah. The amount of shit that the character Bayonetta gets from like the feminist groups and all that kind of stuff, I can imagine the kind of shit that would be said if they made a live-action Bayonetta movie. And Amber Heard played her. They made a Phoenix Wright movie. What? I'm overwhelmed by all the anime that's about. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I'm old school anime. I was, like when it started to show up. Charlie can talk about this also. When anime first started showing up in the early 90s, that was what I call like the golden age, where it was like they were picking not just any old anime to bring over here. They're like trying to pick the best ones to make people take notice, like Kira and Fist of the North Star, Ninja Scroll, the Go-Go 13 movie. What else? Ranma, Tenchi Muyo, 3x3 Eyes, stuff like that. And that's the kind of stuff I remember watching and really liking. And I don't know, nowadays it's like there's just so much of it out there, and it's just kind of weird, and all of it just kind of feels the same, that I just can't get into it anymore. And I've tried, believe me, I've tried. I liked what I saw of Attack on Titan. I watched maybe the first, I want to say 3/4 of the first season of Attack on Titan. I liked it, but I had to take breaks every now and then because I was just like, this is getting overwhelming. It was just, I can't deal with it. Like that whole 3-episode arc of like the main characters being on trial for no reason at all. It was just like, this, okay, they're padding the season. They're trying to extend it past where it needed to be. They could have just cut all that stuff out and it wouldn't have been a big deal. And it kind of like, I kind of stopped watching at that point, but then I went back and like watched some more and I liked it. I like it. I want to see a live action movie of that. I think there is one, isn't there? I definitely need to play those video games. There's an animated series of Persona 4 and 5, and I believe there's a movie for Persona 3. Wow. I should probably look those up to see if they're any good. I want it made just to hear them piss and moan. Which one? Red Dead Redemption could probably make for a good movie. It's basically story driven, so yeah, that would work. I can imagine there would be people complain. Like, say they did make it exactly like the game. There would be people complaining about how much it's just like the game, and there would be people complaining if they changed it that it's nothing like the game. Ace Attorney. I didn't know. Wow, they made an Ace Attorney movie? Wow. That's like the last thing I would expect to get turned into a movie. Is there a Professor Layton movie coming out too? I can remember Astro Boy in the 80s. Yeah, Astro Boy I never really watched. I watched Voltron when I was a little kid. I watched that a lot, both the spaceship one and the lion one. Robotech, Macross. I used to watch that a lot. I actually started watching Robotech on Netflix. They have it on there now, and I was watching it the other day. And it's a lot more adult than I remember it being. The latest CGI Astro Boy movie wasn't terrible. Yeah, Go-Go 13 was awesome. Oh, Duke, why don't you pull my trigger so lovingly? Oh, tender, pull my trigger so tender and lovingly. That was the worst friggin' dialogue. I'm like, wow, somebody translated that badly. Unless it is a direct translation of what was said in the movie in Japan during that sex scene. Oh, God, I remember laughing so hard. Duke, pull my trigger so tender and lovingly. Everyone should try watching Ruby. I've tried watching Ruby. I could not get into it. Couldn't get into Sword Art Online. Tried watching that. I tried watching that one that was made specifically for Netflix. It was about spaceships and shit. Couldn't do it. I can't remember what it was called. It came out maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Speed Racer in the 90s. Never watched Speed Racer. I caught an episode every once in a while, but I never really watched it. Gotcha Man is pretty cool. I will admit. I watched the Battle of the Planets when I was a kid. That was pretty awesome. Gotcha Man movie sucks. I remember there was a Gotcha Man movie. I just never got around to watching it. I did watch the live action. What was it? Space Pirate Harlock or whatever it was called. The live action anime version or live action version of that anime I watched on Netflix. And I remember it being pretty cool. I just remember being like overwhelming. I was like, wow, they love the CGI. Knights of Sidonia, that was it. Thank you, Epic Dice Studio. I tried watching that one, couldn't get into it. Could not do it. I will not be talking about Iratsuka Doji. We did that already on stream, Charlie. Yep. Awkward. Anyway, yeah. I could tell you guys the story about La Blue Girl, though, if you really want to hear a gross story. So there's this anime out there called Iratsuka Doji. It was like the first. I didn't know there was a term for something called, what hentai was. It wasn't a thing. Like the first big hentai one that come over here was Iratsuka Doji. My friend Charlie and I watched it. That and the sequel, the first sequel. There's like 2 other sequels past that. There's like 4 of them total. Didn't really like it. I mean, I thought it was cool and different. All the sex, 400-foot long schlongs shooting laser spooge. I was like, yeah, what the hell? Can I just get back to the story, please? The story for the first Iratsuka Doji wasn't too bad. But I said I was never going to watch another one of those again. So this guy that I was hanging out with in like the mid 90s was really into anime also. My friend Tom, I don't talk to him anymore. He loaned me this tape of this show called La Blue Girl. And he's like, oh, you got to watch this. It's about witches. I'm like, sexy witches. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I watch it, and the episode where I turned it off was like everything that these witches would do. It was like sex magic. Like they need to perform a spell but they had to do something sexy in order to get it to work. So in order to stop a witch from doing a spell, this good witch had to turn her clitoris or something, or her I can't remember what it was, her uterus inside out and bang another witch with it. And I remember I was doing something in the room while it was on. I was like, I can't remember if I was writing. I think I was writing a story or something. And I remember hearing the and I look up and I see what's going on, and I just kind of stop and watch it like, what the hell am I watching this for? Like, seriously. This is stupid. And the next day I gave the tape back to my friend Tom, and I was just like, you can keep this shit. It's like a girl banging another girl with her uterus being turned inside out or whatever the hell it was. It was stupid. A couple of friends of mine would watch La Blue Girl and laugh at it. Never seen it myself, though. I do not recommend it. Even though when there wasn't that stupid sex magic shit going on, it was just dumb. It was like watching a dumbed down, I know this is funny, like a dumbed down Sailor Moon. It was just not fun. One that I really do recommend you look up if you can. I don't know how hard it is to find nowadays, but it's called Silent Mobius. That was one of the first really Akira style anime that I watched, and I was like, wow, this is unique. I really like Silent Mobius. That was a fun one. I like that one a lot. Legend of the Overfiend. Yep, that's the first Iratsuka Doji. God damn. I could tell the story again if you guys weren't in that stream where Charlie and I were playing Super Smash TV. So basically, at the beginning of the anime boom in the 90s, Charlie and I were into everything we could find. There was a comic book shop near my house and his house called Kane's Comics, and they had anime. They would get new anime from time to time. So we walked in there one day and we saw this anime on the shelf called Iratsuka Doji, and we're like, what's this? And on the front, it said it was rated NC-17, and it had a banner across the front that said not suitable for children. So we're like, naturally, we're 18 years old. We're going to buy it. So we bought it, brought it back to his place, and we watched it in his living room. And he lived with his grandma at the time. And his grandma sat on the couch in the back of the room. We're sitting in front of the TV on the floor. sat on the couch in the back of the room, wrapped herself up with a blanket, and sat there and watched the entire hentai movie with us, not saying a word. We were embarrassed as hell. So yeah, she's watching 300-foot-long dildos flapping in the wind, shooting laser spooge, and like people's mouths ripping open and, schlongs coming out and banging other girls. I remember like it was really awkward and really uncomfortable, but like me and Charlie, I remember were laughing at it more than anything else. We're like, this is like the most ridiculous freaking thing ever. Like, who came up with this? But the story itself wasn't too bad, so we kept on watching it. It's just when it came to all this sex stuff, we're like, what the hell? Like, Japanese have hang-ups, man. So we finished it off. His grandmother got up off the couch, went into the kitchen and started making dinner. And about an hour later, his dad came home. We went into the kitchen to eat dinner. And we're sitting down, and as far as I remember, his grandmother didn't even make herself a plate for dinner. So Charlie and I are sitting at the table. His dad's sitting there, and he looks at Charlie's grandma and says, "You're not eating anything, Grandma?" And she says, "You wouldn't eat either if you've seen the things I've seen." And like I was drinking a glass of milk, and I remember like spitting up my milk back into the glass. That's how funny that was. And then we watched the second one at my house. The second Uratsuka Doji was like the Nazi death rape machine or something. And we're watching it in my basement. My mother was home, but no one would come into the basement unless they're A, going to use my dad's computer, or B, they were doing laundry. No one ever used the TV in the basement, which is why we were down there, because we're like, well, my mom will never come down here. She'll never see us and we'll get embarrassed. Naturally, my mom decided to do laundry that day. So there's a scene where a demon is banging another demon in mid-flight with his 3-pronged dildo. And there's a shot from the inside of the girl's hoo-ha, and you see the dildo going, banging the shit out of it. Just as my mom comes downstairs with a load of laundry, and she like looks at the TV, and I don't think it clicked what she was looking at. So she goes like, "What are you guys watching?" And I just went, "Children's programming." So that's that. I have not watched the hentai since that little brief thing with La Blue Girl, and I said once I saw La Blue Girl, I was like, I'm never watching one of these again, because this is just this no bueno. Can't do it. Yeah, Grandma likes hentai. No, she did not. It kind of made her ill. She wouldn't say it to anybody, but it was making her sick from what it sounds like. There's weird, then there's Japan weird. Yeah. Yeah, we had no idea what hentai was at the time. We had no clue. It wasn't a term. It wasn't even a thing. I want to say that Uratsuka Doji was probably the first one that ever came over, as far as I remember, or at least as far as I saw. I mean, there were ones with sex in it, but not like dildo flapping, laser jizz. No, like what the hell are we watching? And they glowed in the dark. VCR rental shops, LOL, Faces of Death. Yep, the video store that I worked at in the mid-'90s had all those Faces of Death movies. Those were one of the things that rented the most. Shocked the hell out of me. Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Children's programming. Yep. You got to think on your toes when your parents catch you watching something shady. Naturally, at the time, I want to say we were like 18 when we were watching that. But it was like, I don't think I would have gotten in trouble. I just think my mom would have been like, "What are you doing?" It's just more embarrassing than anything else. But yeah, I never watched the third or Uratsuka Doji. I never watched the fourth. I know they're out there. I just didn't bother because I was like, yeah, I don't need to see any more of this kind of stuff ever. It's just not my thing. But anyway, so what is everybody else playing nowadays? So like I said, I'm going to go back and start playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider again, and then jump into some finish off Call of Cthulhu. So what's everybody else playing currently? But yeah, I got a whole bunch of new videos lined up. I have a list of stuff I want to do on my computer. I'm going to do a video about the 3DO now that I have a decent enough collection. I can actually talk about the 3DO, not sucking as much as everyone seems to think it does. I got the new Diamond in the Rough games or shows coming out. I'm going to do the Genesis one first, then one about the NES, and then I'm probably going to do one on the Dreamcast. I'm definitely doing a live Dreamcasting episode because I've gotten so much Dreamcast stuff lately. Got to get that out of the way. Got to do it. I'm going to start doing monthly pickup videos. So either at the end of the month or the beginning of the following month, I'm going to do a pickup video about what I picked up that month, just to get that out of the way, because people love those videos. Don't get me wrong, I like making them, I just don't like editing them. I'd rather edit something else. Like I said, those are very time intensive and frustrating. So yeah, I got a live dreamcasting episode I'm going to do. Another live pickup videos coming up at the end of the month. Got that new collaboration, the movies that would make great video games part 4. I'm still waiting on, I think, two more clips from collaborator people on that. And then I got everything. I'm playing Spider-Man, then I'll go on pause for the Resident Evil 2 remake. Yep, I got to get that Resident Evil 2 remake. I saw Baddest Dudes playing that, and I really liked what I saw, so I'm going to definitely get that one. I got games coming out of my wazoo right now. I'm really set on Tales of Vesperia remaster. Yep, I feel you, Ravenous. Cabot, I imagine my mom saying, in my day, porn had real people in them. His grandmother just like super quiet, hadn't said anything in probably 3 hours. Just, you wouldn't either if you've seen the things I've seen. That was so good. I'm trying to beat Heavy Shredding on the NES. Heavy Shredding, isn't that snowboarding game? Was that one by Ultra? Fractured Butthole, Fist of the North Star. Yeah, Fist of the North Star is coming up. It's one of the next ones I'm going to be playing, definitely. Jason from Corpse Flood was telling me how great it is, so it's going to happen. Fractured Butthole, I had it. I got it really cheap Black Friday 2 years ago. I want to say I paid $15 for it brand new, and I just never opened it. And I was just kind of like, you know what? I think I'll just buy it for the Switch so I can play it like while I'm dropping a deuce or something, you know, in the meantime. Because right now, the only time I really use my Switch is when I'm taking a shit. As crude and gross as that is, people, sorry. That's like the only time I'm either playing it when I'm laying in bed or I'm playing it while I'm using the toilet. My PS4 is the one that gets the most play in my house. What is the most memorable Faces of Death? I've never seen any of the Faces of Death movies. That kind of stuff does not interest me at all. I like horror movies, don't get me wrong, but just, yeah, that's kind of stuff. No, I'm good. Resident Evil 2 remaster is out this week, though. Yeah, I might go pick it up when it comes out on, what is that, Tuesday? Eating monkey brains. Nope, sorry. Drop a douche in real life and in the game. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, man. Yeah, drop a deuce. Dropping the kids off at the pool. Like I said, I've unlocked every character in Smash Brothers while, you know, taking a crap. Yeah, same thing, Cabot, same thing. Let me see what other. Let me just actually, you know what? Let me just bring up my list, my listy list. Let's see y'all. Type of episodes I got coming up. I've been putting it. Oh, another one I'm going to be doing is another top 10 list, and it's the my top 10 canceled games. I did a little bit of research one day when I was at work, and I was like, what were some of the more high profile games that were supposed to come out over like the last 30 years that got canceled and never not finished? Maybe they were like not even in the process of being programmed yet, but like the idea was out there and they had been working on pre-production type stuff, and they were like, no. Like we lost a license on a movie or something like that while we're doing it. So I got a video about that coming out. That's what I've been looking forward to making. I've had that one on my list for about 2.5 years. Tastes like chicken. I was going to do a long time ago, I was going to do a video called Genesis Does What Nintendo Don't, and it was going to be a multi-platform game comparison between like the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. And it was going to be me versus Game Taff. I don't know if you remember that YouTube channel, Game Taff. I think his name was Aiden. He was from the UK. All he ever talked about was like Mega Drive and Master System games and all that kind of stuff. He was a huge Sega fanboy. And me being like the Super Nintendo was like my console from back in the day, that I thought it'd be kind of funny, us bouncing off of each other, like what my console would do compared to what yours would do. Not in a mean way, but just like, just bringing up valid points. I thought that would have been fun. And then like he just stopped making videos, and I was like, okay, I guess that's not happening. I was going to do a video about talking about working at the video store that I worked at in the 90s when it came to the video game side of things, because I was the person who was in charge of buying the video games for our video game section. So like the trials and tribulations of like, do I go AAA or do I buy some no-namer game because it's cheaper and we might make our money back on it faster compared to like buying like a Crash Bandicoot or something like that. I thought that would be kind of fun because there were some funny stories about games that I bought and like the stories that came about with people, what they would say when they would bring them back. That was kind of funny. I still need to do my Fast 5 reproduction review. Review Mortal Kombat 2 Unlimited, King of the Demons, the Pringles game. I definitely need to review the Pringles game and the Lobo game. I've got like these videos that I want to do that are like weird stories about movie licensed games. Like there's one about the X versus Sever games and the Universal Soldier game for the Genesis. Let's see. Hit up Brian trusted you to be the Sega to your Super Nintendo. I'll have to do that. Do you have any of the in-store videos you made for the store? No, those are all on VHS. To advertise the video games that we were getting in the store, when it came to the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, when I was working at the video game store, because I started working there in 94 and I left, I think, in 96 or 97. And when it came to the cartridge-based games we had, those things were always flying off the shelves. When it came to the disc-based stuff, that was a whole other, whole other thing because those consoles were really expensive compared to like the cartridge-based ones. So like when the PlayStation first came out, my boss bought a PlayStation to rent out, and all the games that was released like during the launch, and like that stuff sat on the shelf for 6 months. Nobody rented it. Nobody even rented the system. But when the Nintendo 64 came out, and I bought my personal Nintendo 64 and absolutely hated it, and like the day that I bought my Nintendo 64, went home, played was it Mario 64 and Pilot Wing 64, absolutely hated it, brought it to the video store and said to my boss, "Do you want this for rental? Buy it off of me right now." And he bought everything for the cost, what I paid for it, and put it out for rental that day. That stuff flew off the shelves. Like when it came to disc-based systems, no one knew how to react. It was weird. But when it came to a cartridge, everybody was like, yes, 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 which was kind of funny. So when it came to the PlayStation, it took a while for that to take off in the store, but the Nintendo 64 was super popular in our area. Eventually, the PlayStation did end up taking off. Trying to get people to pay for games that they would scratch up because they let their dog chew on it or left it on the carpeting and stepped on it and stuff like that. That was another story in itself. That's trying to convince somebody that they screwed a game up to the point where it wouldn't work anymore because they thought that it was like you're working with a cartridge like it was indestructible. No. You can't leave a disc in the car, people. In the summer. No. Definitely do a vid on the video game store. Yeah, I'm probably going to... Oh, but what I was saying was, in order to advertise the PlayStation, because nobody was renting it, I had a PlayStation myself. I hooked my PlayStation up to a VCR, taped a whole bunch of gameplay, and edited together to music a bunch of gameplay of the games that we had in the store to make people go like, "Oh my God, that looks pretty awesome. I need to try that game out. Let me rent your PlayStation and those 2 games that you just showed in the video." And it worked. It did. Because after, like I said, for the first 6 months, nobody even touched our PlayStation stuff. So when I started making those videos for the store, people started to pay attention. They were like, "Oh, okay, cool. I need to try this out." And then the PlayStation took off at our store. That's what Charlie's talking about there. I made all these in-store videos that we showed on the TVs in the store, and people went crazy for it. And then eventually, I got my boss to buy like a small little like kitchen TV, I guess, that you would put like on your counter. And we put it on the counter by where the videotapes would get returned, and I hooked our PlayStation up to it, and I would let a game run in like demo mode on it, especially like Resident Evil, and that got people interested in it also. That my boss was so happy that actually worked. I'd like to see you show off your vinyl, especially game and film soundtracks. I already did a video on the game soundtracks that I have on vinyl. I did that maybe a little over a year ago. And it's one of my most popular videos, which surprises the hell out of me. Me talking about vinyl records on a video game channel. Sure, it's about video game soundtracks, but I didn't think anyone would give a crap. I did that to just have something to talk about, because I was like, I think at that point in time I was kind of like low on ideas, and I was like, well, I have all this video game music, let me talk about that. And that's one of the ones that has the most views on my channel. Surprises the hell out of me. So I'm planning on doing a follow-up to it, because I've bought plenty more video game soundtracks, and I actually asked at the end of that video, people would like to see my movie soundtrack on vinyl collection that I have. And people were saying yes. So you're probably going to see a sequel to the video game soundtracks on vinyl, and one about the movie soundtracks on vinyl also. So thank you for bringing that up, Clay. It was probably Final Fantasy VII that really kicked the PS1 in overdrive. Yeah, I will admit that. When that came out, that was when we weren't really renting the system anymore. That was when people were actually starting to buy the system, because when I started putting those videos up in the video store, that was when the system actually started renting. It was renting so much we had to buy a second one. I remember that. And my boss was not happy about it, but it did make its money back like 12-fold in the long run. But once, I want to say Final Fantasy VII came out, and it might have been Resident Evil. I want to say Resident Evil came out. That was when like the rentals on the console itself slowed, because people were actually starting to buy the console. Maybe there was a price drop at that point in time. I don't remember, but it was pretty cool. I remember like my boss was finally like, okay, Chris, I listened to your idea about the PlayStation. Okay, it's paying off, whatever, fine. And that was when he really started listening to my ideas about the video games we should be buying. Because normally he'd like give me the list of games that were coming out for the month, and he's like, circle the ones we should buy. And then he would pick from the list of things I circled to actually purchase. And it was usually just the AAA games. But when I would be like, no, I mean, yes, get those AAA games, but there's these other games in here that aren't like, they're like single A games. You know, you might want to pick some of those up too, because you never know, they might rent as well. You need to have a variety, because a Blockbuster had opened up down the street. We needed to have a variety of things to make people say, I'm going to go to that video store instead of the chain one. And it worked, because our PlayStation stuff rented like crazy. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? So yeah, I have a whole lot of new videos that I'm working on. Now that I've worked out the way my pickup video situation is going to be playing out from now on, it's going to free up a lot of time for me to actually work on videos that I've been wanting to make for a while. Like I said, that top 10 canceled games is something I've been sitting on for like almost 2 years, like a year and a half, I want to say. The 3DO game is one that I wanted to make at the very beginning, but I wanted to do it when I had a decent collection, so I've been sitting on that as well for probably 4 years. But now that I finally have a decent enough 3DO collection, I can actually talk about it. Oh, yes. For the last 2 years, I've been on a panel at the Midwest Gaming Classic along with Church, the Game Grinder. You know who you are. First year it was me, Church, Shelton from Retro Games, Vinyl and Beer, and Grimsy42. Last year it was me, Church, Musty Hobbit from Second Breakfast, and Jason from Corpse Flood Gaming. Taylor from Rising Blue Phoenix was going to be there, but he couldn't make it because combination of the massive freaking snowstorm that hit the day of of our panel, and his car broke down, so he couldn't make it that day. But there were supposed to be 5 of us on that panel originally. We're going to have another one this year. I've been talking with the guy that runs the convention. It's a guy named Dan, and we've been bouncing ideas off him. He had some ideas that he wanted us to implement in there. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. He hasn't responded to the last email I sent out about what we want to talk about. But this year, it's going to be myself, the Game Grinder again, Musty Hobbit again, Captain Algebra, Game Onesis, and Taylor from Rising Blue Phoenix. He's going to come back again. I figured since he missed last year, we need to have him on the panel again, because we needed somebody who is strictly live streaming. That's all he does is live streams. So, and since Jason of Corpse Plug Gaming hasn't really done any content in a while, I was like, would you mind not being on the panel, but moderating the panel for us? And he said, definitely. So Jason's going to moderate the panel for us, because there's going to be 6 of us on the panel. That's a lot to deal with. We're going to have some really big topics we're going to be talking about. So it would be great if we just have somebody who can say, okay, you need to shut up now because this person wants to talk, instead of one of us just droning on and on and on. So I think it's going to help out immensely. Jason's going to be moderating. Everybody's going to get their say in things. Certain people are going to be talking about certain topics that they specialize in. So it's going to be really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to going to the Midwest Gaming Classic again. Tony, I will see you there. I don't remember seeing you at the first year's, but last year's I definitely did. Can't miss a guy wearing a Pac-Man leisure suit in the audience. That's awesome. I love that jacket you wear, dude. That's awesome. I want to know where you got that. Not that I would want to wear that because I hate wearing like formal type stuff, but that jacket is amazing. Some games have really good soundtracks. If only they were a thing back in the day, Capcom and Square would have made a mint on their soundtracks. I still have a bunch of like Square soundtracks from like the Final Fantasy games on CD I'm trying to get rid of. Konami too, yes. I had the Castlevania 4 soundtrack on CD. Sold that on eBay. I want to party Friday and Saturday night with whoever was down to party at the Midwest Gaming Class. So am I. Last year, we got me and Church got booted out of that arcade at the Midwest Gaming Classic. I want to say it was maybe around 11 o'clock or something like that. 11 o'clock at night. We're in that room that Saru Maru from the guy who did FX Unit Yuki. The room that he was in. We're just sitting in there, and then they were like, yeah, we're shutting down the convention. We're like, what? And we ended up going back to our room. Yeah, because I know previously at the hotel that it used to be held at, shit was going on 24/7. You know, everything was being held in hotel rooms. Now that it's actually in a convention center, they have to shut it down after a specific time. Yeah, nobody knew what was going on that night. Because I remember I looked over at Saru and he was sitting in the corner. He even looked at everyone. He's like, what the hell? I'm like, okay. I'm setting up a meet and drink either Friday or Saturday night. I'll spread the word closer to the day. I will be there, Tony. We're talking about doing like how about we combine that with the dinner? We're talking about on Friday night last year, the Cartridge Club had like a dinner where all the members got together. They invited me, they invited Church, they invited Jason, and we went with them. And it was a great night. We ended up sitting around talking all night long. And I want to say we left around 9:30, 10-ish, and we got there at like 6:30-ish or something like that. And then we tried to get into that one room, and they closed the whole convention on us. So yeah, we're talking about like maybe having dinner again on Friday night. I don't know if it's going to be with the whole Cartridge Club or not, but if you guys want to get together on Friday night, that'd be great. I want to meet everybody, meet all the peoples. So, all right, yeah, this is approaching the 2-hour mark. So I want to say that this stream, even though it started off kind of screwed up, was a very big success. More people in here than I expected to see. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, we're going to be at the Midwest Gaming Classic. The day of the convention, what day our panel is going to be at the Midwest Gaming Classic, it's up in the air. We haven't heard anything yet. So, it's most likely going to be on Sunday again. That seems to be the day that they throw us into. It would be great if it was Saturday. That'd be fantastic. Everybody's there on Saturday. But Sunday is discount day, so we'll see. So, yeah, once we get more info on that, we'll start posting about it on our individual Facebook pages and whatnot. And I'm definitely going to do another video of the things I'm looking for at the Midwest Gaming Classic this year. I'll definitely do another follow-up on the Midwest Gaming Classic, talking about going there for the full 3 days again and everything. And I'll definitely do a video. I'm sure most of us will be doing videos that are on the panel, a video about it. We need a classic Mega Man soundtrack. I actually have the Mega Man 3 soundtrack on vinyl. I want to say it's 3. I think it's 3. I'm hitting Galloping Ghost Friday earlier too. Yeah, I've never been to the actual Galloping Ghost place. On Friday is usually the day, if I get there early enough, like I did it last year. I got to the convention and I checked in at the hotel and went straight to Make Sense Variety Store and spent more money there than I was prepared to, because everything in there is awesome and it was 20% off. I want to say everything in there was 20% off when I walked in there that Friday. So that's probably the first thing I'm going to do when I get to Milwaukee this year. Same thing I did last year. You wouldn't either if you saw what I saw. But yeah, I need to check out Galloping Ghost. Maybe that'll be the other thing I do on Friday. So let me know, Tony. We can all hook up and go check out stuff around the town that day. Because like I said, I've never been to Galloping Ghost. I'd love to check that out. So thank you, everybody, for showing up to this. Graham lives on. Yay! Graham, you are missed. Thanks for showing up to this 5th anniversary stream. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you're sticking through to all the problems I was having at the beginning. YouTube is pissing me off when it comes to this streaming stuff lately. I can't seem to do anything on my tabletop computer, but my laptop seems to work okay. But whatever. I don't understand. I don't get it. I can't even get it to stream on the actual reminder, the actual video that I had set up 3 weeks ago. Ugh. So yeah, 5th anniversary said and done. Hopefully there'll be another 5. Maybe we'll do a 10-year anniversary if it even goes that long. We'll see what's happening. So yes, thank you everybody for showing up. Thanks for chatting with me. It's a lot of fun. I love doing these live streams where I get to interact with people. That's so much. That's what the point of doing these is to interact with people while I'm doing it. So yeah, thanks for showing up. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for supporting me over the last 5 years. And you know what? Help spread the word for the old ass retro gamer. You know, post links to the videos and stuff. Help spread the word. Get me some more subs. I don't have my account monetized, so I'm not making any money off of this crap. So thank you very much. I'm going to end the stream here. So I will talk to you all later. New top three Tuesday video coming out on Tuesday. New video possibly coming out on Friday, full video. And there will be a live stream pickup video at the end of the month. So keep an eye out for those things, and I will talk to you all later. Yeah.